I've been coming to this island my whole life to be with my family and mountain village community. As a child, I saw the magic of Mallorca as normal, and the rest of the world seemed somewhat muted in comparison, as if it was hiding its magic. So what do I mean by magic? Well, there's synchronicities. You know, like when someone you are thinking of calls you, or flashes of perception that there's more to the material realm, or the awareness produced by surprising beauty. We know a magical moment when we're in it. It's those moments of grace, when the smell of orange blossoms, jasmine, sheep poop, the piney sea are potions to turn us all into witches and wizards as the sun sets. When lights and shadows playing makes everything glow, where the sacred and profane come together at their common root. So magic is like love, when everyone wants to do the same thing at the same time. It happens when creative expression is spontaneous, uninhibited, and irrepressible. We used to dance in the kitchen before dinner. In fact, we danced anywhere, anytime, and it felt wonderfully normal. So as a teen, I realized that the natural magic of Mallorca was actually exceptional. Here was a place that lived in creative harmony with nature, outside and inside. The wild spirit could grow unfettered, experiment, be itself, whether it was lounging in the boughs of an olive tree or bouncing with the seasonal throngs. So, as I grew and experienced Mallorca change, I also saw the magic change, especially with the growing massification of passive observers. I felt it was my duty to document what was happening here, but in a different way, chronicling with respect, to preserve what beauty was being lost and also refreshed. Not nostalgia, but now-stalgia. Over the past 30 years, I've made photos, films, interviews, poems, drawings, archives, protests for and with my community. But just witnessing the change is not enough. Just as anthropologists change the observed with their quantic action, so do documentarists. I believe documentarists must also be participants to truly experience and portray our subjects. It's a question of trust when you ask someone to be vulnerable and natural for you. The project of documenting becomes one of setting up situations where the magic of spontaneity can feel at home rather than forced. So filming Fishfire is one such project. It was meant to be a documentary on the unique character of Mallorca, but it turned into a fiction, allowing for its hidden power to percolate. And then, over the past 20 years that I've been working on it, it transformed again to become a mockumentary, a documentary that is fictional and yet relates truth. The title Fishfire comes from that symbol, signifying the alchemical process. So here's a little piece of synchronous magic. My father painted this portrait at the same time I was writing my script. The same themes are portrayed in both: burden of masculinity, nurturing of mothers, and the alchemical power of the next generation. So my father was a painter, but also lesser known, was a filmmaker. He had started documenting our community via fiction in the 1950s. Here's his film, The Time Is Now. Artists had found a place where the beauty of the world was raw and invigorated, and my father was also fascinated by the magic on the island. So here you can see a fictional ritual he mockumented. That little girl was me. I have incorporated some of my father's footage in Fishfire, which is now becoming more of a mockufiction, a true story masquerading as a fiction. William Burroughs said that this is a place where the veil between the worlds is thin. When we started filming 20 years ago, I had just graduated film school and thought, now what? Make a film, of course. I invited people from the community and friends from all over to join in the mocku quest. In the end, we had over 100 unpaid crew and cast to join in the experience. Well, I did pay them with ice cream. So, how do you make a mockufiction with non-actors and manage to evoke the same level of emotional storytelling? Some of it has to do with editing and music, some of it typecasting and working to their innate qualities. A lot of it was about creating a situation to evoke the emotion. So even though the story appears piecemeal, the characters seem embarrassingly natural, the footage uneven, I believe the film works because it uses symbols and archetypes that we subconsciously relate to, such as the determined fool, or the mysterious boss, or the shadow's portent. The film works like a poem works, on the threshold of understandings. Filming Fishfire is now a lifelong exercise in active witnessing, a process of allowing the story and its form to reveal itself, and so constantly refreshing my vision. This young boy appears later in the film as a young man, twice in the same fictional timeline, a document of unfolding in time. So last year I thought I had finished with the film, but it wasn't finished with me, and probably won't be for another 20 years. Who knows what my community will become by then. I'm hoping we will no longer need to document it, that we will all just be living creatively in perpetual wonder. But until then, we can start by not forcing the moment when we document, by being a part of it, seeing what connects us to it, inviting art into it to transmit what it feels like. When we open ourselves to art, sometimes it opens itself to us. And I believe true magic is shy and reveals itself when all are participating. So does capturing something wild and free affect the magic of it? Not when we are a part of it, I think. The wonder then spreads and keeps reflecting, a mirror signal for the next one down the path. Art can transmit rare moments. Unleashed, it can bring us to those moments where fire dances in our core. Art also awakens us to the unseen and to the unknown. We can see a borealis of joy, or breathe like musical fish. So, what about you? How will you allow for the unique magic of your world to feel at ease and begin to manifest? How will you participate in spreading the hidden power of what you